This lower molar has a very challenging curvature in the mesial root. And this little clip is to show you what to do when your rotary files don't want to cut to length. Now I'm in the mesial lingual. This is the lower left first molar and making excellent progress. In fact, it's time to clean those flutes out. You don't want to pack them with debris because then they will push debris into lateral accessory canals. Okay. This is a 2006 GTX file. Still making progress. And it's typical that you're going to have slower progress as you approach full length. We can see the debris is in the shank end of the flutes, not in the tip, so the end of the root canal may be larger than 0.2 millimeters. But it is stalling nonetheless, so I dropped to an 04 taper, much more flexible than the 2006. Let's see if that, yep, and it drops right to length. Again, cutting the middle of the file, not at its tip, so despite this binding, it's probably not continuous taper to the end of the root canal. 2006 comes back in, and you can see that after the 2004 has been put in place, the tip of the 2006 is asked to cut less and really glides fairly effortlessly there. So that's a nice example of how to get to length when a 2006 doesn't want to get there. In that case, we used a 2004. Here's the canal being gauged. That was first the 15K file as patency instrument, and I'm seeing if the 20 binds at length or goes through. It did go through. Here's the 30. It's binding short. Now I've known if I have a 20 going through and a 30 binding short, I can make my life a lot easier if I just balance force that number 30 gauging instrument to length, and then when I put a 3006 GTX file in, the tip of that file also will not be binding. Look at the tip cutting debris. That's a great sign that the end of the root canal will be finished at 0.3 millimeters. 3006 GTX follows. These cut a lot faster than the 2006s because they have a little bit more stiffness to propel the tip blades through tight dentin, and it's making excellent progress. Every time I advance apically, it's making progress. Be patient here. Make sure that you clean your flutes out before you get into the last millimeter. The 3004 follows. This should be fairly easy because the tip flutes will not be binding. I've already had a 30K file and balance force that to length. Here we go. We'll see the tip flutes probably free of debris and about a millimeter or two behind a little bit of ground debris. We're going to follow with the 3006 to finish. I really need an 06 taper for these small molar canals so I can get irrigation working effectively, so that I can obturate effectively as well. So what you've seen is the use of nickel titanium K files and narrower taper files used to cut a little bit wider shape so that the 06s, the 2006, and the 3006 can get to length, allowing the ideal shape for, again, irrigation and obturation.